We are back at Indianapolis in a lull here before the shootout begins in less than 8 minutes from now. Tim Cindric talking with Elio Castroneves, who was the fastest in segment 1 and will be first out. Let's talk with his teammate, Will Power.
Will Power here just before he gets heading towards this shootout, talking to one of your buddies. And how does it feel knowing that you're in second spot, but it all gets washed away?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's a good thing. I get another shot at getting the pole. I don't know. I can't do what Castroneves is doing. We'll see. But, you know, the Verizon Team Penske car has been running really well all month. And, yeah, I think we do have a shot at it, though. We do. People make mistakes. I mean, he has to be consistent for 4 laps. Anything can happen. Speed-wise, feel-wise, how is the car? Yeah, it's on the edge. I mean, the way the wind is and the heat today, man, like on that last lap, you're about that far from the wall on the exit turn 1, and you know it. I mean, it's nerve-wracking. From the start of the day to the end of the day, things have changed totally. How was the car? Was it how you expected it to be when you made that second run? No, actually. I mean, yes, because I did a practice run, but I wasn't expecting to be as hard as it actually is today. All right, relax a little bit. It's about to be time. Yeah, exactly. You watch.
Ryan Briscoe getting set to go. We will now have the top 4 cars. They must requalify. They must take at least 1 run. $175,000 is a stake, plus the points. 15 to the pole sitter.
And Bob, I think the one thing we need to keep in mind, all these hours we just saw, if you want to post a new time, you have to withdraw yours. In this segment, right, you do not. So if you've got a time that you like, you go run again. If it's not as good, who cares?
And if you should have a problem and get into the fence, you are still guaranteed a 9th starting position. Elio climbs in the car. We're about set to go for round number 2 of qualifying at Indianapolis.
We can break out!
From Indianapolis, Indiana, the world's greatest racing, Indianapolis
The Indianapolis 500, the greatest spectacle in racing. An American tradition with a century of pursuits. 33 cars running wide open at over 200 miles an hour. A 500-mile chase toward racing immortality.
Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second.
Stage 1 of pole day is now complete, qualifying 24 cars for this year's race. Overcast skies and cooler temperatures earlier today proved to be profitable for many, until an afternoon of drama here at the Brickyard, leaving a few Indy favorites on the outside looking in for the shootout. But the story today is Elio Castroneves and his quest for his 4th Indy 500 title, withdrawing an earlier run and then turning the fastest lap so far. Pole day continues from the Brickyard.
Run wide open today. Come on.
It is the same day that we had at 11 o'clock, but it's a whole new effort now, as 9 cars in the next hour and a half will shoot for the top 9 starting positions in the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Scott Dixon is getting set to go. He ended up as P5 in round 1 qualifying, but the first man out is going to be Elio Castroneves.
And it is a whole new mental game, this format. We just saw from Will Power. He's like, what do you mean? I got to do this all again? And it kind of looked and said, how does Elio do this? How could he subject himself to it? And tags, I mean, what a great job they've done, man.
Dario doesn't have his helmet on yet. He will be the 6th out of the 9. He's done it twice already. Qualified 4 laps, then withdrew it, requalified, and now he will be out for a 3rd time. But this really is the one that counts. Although, by being the fastest in segment 1, he will get the first pick of pit position on race day. The engine is fired in the Team Penske machine, and the 3-time Indianapolis 500 winner looking for his 4th, and then the joining of a very elite group of Al Unser, AJ Foyt, and Rick Mears as 4-time winners. And should he win this year, he will be the only driver to win 4 Indianapolis 500s consecutively twice.
There's a lot of concern by the teams. Could they get the cars turned around and roll right on time?
They did.
Right on the money to the second. They got them turned around. Castroneves right on schedule.
Jack Arute is in the Pit Performance Center. Jack?
Yeah, we've been watching the weather conditions, and guys, let's talk about it. The outside temperature is 85 degrees, pretty much the way Helio Castroneves went out and set that blistering P1 pace. Track temperature is 116 degrees. That's about the same, and so is the relative humidity. Hold on to your hats, folks.
85 degrees, by far the warmest day we've had since April. We had a very warm April here in Indianapolis, and then of course when the track started to open, it got to 55 and started raining.
And look at his approach as he headed out. He went through turn 2 very slowly, and we touched on it earlier, Jan. He said sometimes you don't want to get out there going too quick, too early, and lean on those tires and take that little extra bit they have away too early. You got to just hit it perfect.
Coming off of that weather graphic and what the current conditions are, it's worth reminding those who haven't seen this last moment, that last happy hour, that from this point on, the track will get faster. So you're taking the guy with the most muscle is going to put a lap down, knowing that as the day goes on, it's going to get faster and faster. And will and when would he go and make another run?
And he comes down the front stretch taking the green flag, and Helio Castroneves is on his way in round 2.
And the thing that's amazing with this, the mindset of it, as you just said, is, okay, all 9 of these guys have to do attempt. Is Helio, he's going to roll out again later today and do another attempt. Yep. He's not just getting with the program right now and thinking this is going to stick and stay in the #1 spot. He's going to go out again as that track gets faster over the next hour and a half.
Off of corner number 4, completing first of 4 laps in his qualification run here in segment number 2. And the first, it's a 227.961. Oh my goodness, almost 228 miles an hour. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Let the games begin. Look at somebody just kind of elbowing. Do you really think you could do that? Oh my gosh.
An incredible performer for an incredible owner. Here he is at the north end of the racetrack, completing his second of 4 laps.
This should be 228, Bob.
Really?
Even quicker.
Wow, let's see. It is 228.213. Listen to the crowd.
So the rest of the 8 other guys right now, what are they thinking? Are they just absolutely, maybe we just won't go out.
Well, you heard Will Power say.
You know what they're thinking? Cancel Christmas.
Yeah. This is, we haven't seen a 228 all month with the draft or anything, and here he is by himself on this racetrack.
What a performance. This will be the white flag.
Another 228.
Wow. Lap number 3 is 228.187.
Well, maybe he won't have to be going out again to back this up. Whoa.
Tim Cindric looks on. He has got to be happy with the performance of one of the 3 guys from Team Penske. 2 more coming up in the shootout.
He turned into turn number 1 that last time at 232.9.
Wow. Here he is off of corner number 4. Will he win the pole for the 2nd year in a row? Will he win the 500 for the 2nd year in a row? There's the end of the run, and the 4th lap is a little bit slower than the first 3, 227.521. The average is 227.970. Wow. Robbie Floyd is with Roger.
He's shaking hands with Chip Ganassi right now. Everybody down here shaking his hand. Roger, were you surprised at those speeds, or did you think he had it in him the whole time?
Well, he always seems to dig a little bit deeper and comes up with some more speed. It's just a credit to the whole team. Certainly, Elio is a pro around here. He loves this place. He seems to turn an extra light on when he goes here. But tremendous run for him. But Tagliani's got to run yet. It's not over. We know that.
And you still have 2 other cars, Will Power, Ryan Briscoe. They're spread throughout. Was that a plan all along? I know why you chose Elio early.
Well, that was up to Tim to pick one, and I got 8 because there's 8, 9 left.
Congratulations.
Hey, guys, the first thing Elio Castroneves said when he went across the line, how about that?
Yeah, really. Elio brings the 3-car back down into the pit area. And listen to the crowd and look at the reception that he is receiving.
Man, and I remember talking to his engineer, Ron Rozuski. He says, one thing he goes, I never have to convince him to go flat or do anything around here. He doesn't have to motivate that guy right there to do something special around here. And that's what we heard from Roger.
Yep.
You know, he digs deep. He finds something extra, and his engineer's got the same thing.
All right. Meanwhile, on the racetrack, Hideki Mutoh takes the green flag and begins his run. Here's a young man who'll be only in his 3rd Indy 500, driving for Newman Haas Racing. He's been driving for Andretti Green Racing the last 2 years, but has switched to Newman Haas this year. Has a couple of top 10 finishes in the Indianapolis 500. Finished 7th in his rookie year of 2008 and 10th last year, and is another one of those guys up from the Firestone Indy Lights.
And with Newman Haas only having the 1 car entered this year, I think it really is a good testament to Hideki and how he's kind of fit in with that Newman Haas team and what they've done here, because you're always up against Penske that's got 3 cars in this top 9 and just sharing all that information. I mean,
look at that speed.
Good, yeah. Great lap, 226.555 for Hideki.
Well, and any estimates that we were playing around with the last couple days of thinking where this pole speed was going to go, it's safe to say we missed it by a mile.
This track is fast, the conditions, and the amazing thing is it will get even faster yet. Nice job, Hideki. Now, he's losing a little bit of speed. He's drifting down in the 225s now.
Second lap for Hideki Mutoh is 225.745, down almost a mile an hour.
Ooh, a little bit of movement there in the middle of 1, but that's what you heard all the drivers said. The way this wind is blowing now, it kind of hits you in the back of the car as you're getting through the middle of turn 1, and the way the wind comes over the grandstands here and roll down there, it just does, it can do some funny stuff.
He was bumped twice on pole day last year and qualified 16th on the second day of qualifying last year.
Bobby slowed a lot, though. That lap did not go well for him. He's down in the 223s now.
Yeah.
Well, there was also a little bit of movement off of turn 3 there. You know, the car just stepped back and forth a little bit.
Well, by going out this early, he will have another shot at it.
But the worst scenario that anything can happen is nobody's going to be worse than being in the top 3 rows here. Just there, he'd even dump the throttle right there.
Sounded like it.
Yeah, he did.
He will complete the run, however, getting the checkered flag. And let's see, this 4th lap should be pretty slow because he backed off to 218.094. Elio Castroneves is not out of the car. In fact, he's getting back in line just in case he needs it. Scott Dixon will be the next to qualify for the pole on our shootout here at Indianapolis. Scott Dixon has just taken the green flag on the backstretch on lap number 1. He's our 3rd qualifier in this second segment, the shootout. Hideki Mutoh just wrapped up his qualifying effort at a 223.487. Elio the first out and the fastest at 227.970. And now we can say that Elio is on the provisional pole. Here is Scott Dixon down to complete lap number 1. 225.273.
Not what they're hoping for.
I mean, that's pretty fast unless you were already seen the 227.9. And kind of like that's the wind out of your sails.
Scott was the pole sitter here in 2008, the year he won the Indianapolis 500. The 500 has been won the last 2 years by the pole sitter. Scott in 2008 and Elio last year. 2 down, 2 to go for Scott Dixon. And the lap 2 to speed report is 225.345.
A little bit quicker. Mike Hall, he categorizes Dixon. Dixon's a driver that responds. He does whatever he has to do at an incredible level to get the job done. But sometimes when you see what Penske's done here and Elio's landing the speed, I mean, you only got so much speed in that car. As much as he's trimming it out and just trying to keep his hands as free as possible and not scrub any speed with that car, some days just not your day.
Lap number 3 as the white flag comes out is 225.484. So he's picking it up every lap.
Obviously has a very good race car, a well-balanced race car, making that progression. It just with what we've seen earlier, it just changed the whole tone of it a little bit, doesn't it? Man.
Scott has never driven for anyone other than Chip Ganassi. This will be his 8th start as he comes down and looks at the checkered flag. And there is the checkered flag, 225.425, just slightly slower than number 3, and 225.382 is the 4-lap average. And Robbie Floyd standing by with Hideki Mutoh, who was second out a few minutes ago. Robbie?
Well, he's starting to communicate with his crew right now. I just asked him. I said, well, it was a good start. And again, he's going to go out there again. They're going to try and try and do a few adjustments with the car, but they grabbed him right at the last second. I know it might be a little bit too much inside information, but he said his drawers were a little wet. And I don't know if that had anything to do with Elio Castroneves running right before him or not. Let's see if we can sneak in here just a little bit.
Sorry,
I'm wanting to sneak in.
Yeah? What did you say?
How was the car? I told him about your wet underwear. How was it out there? You had that one little bobble. Looked like it cost you.
I mean, my first lap was awesome. I think, you know, after I saw that Elio's qualified on, for us, it's impossible, I think. So I just changed my mind to do just our best we can. And I think we came up... you know, last 4 laps, I lost a lot. So, you know, still we have one more chance to go. So we try again later.
And no matter what, he'll tie his best ever qualifying effort, a 9th place, Bob.
Hideki still with a smile on his face as Alex Tagliani takes to the 2.5-mile oval with sparks coming from the other side of that car.
Hideki was talking to Martin Pare, of course, his engineer. Has a history here, was with Danica Patrick for a long time. They have a great working relationship.
Well, this has been, if there was a surprise during the entire week of practice and today, it's the incredible effort that Alex Tagliani has put into this car and the crew to make it so quick. Definitely a pole contender here. How was the warm-up?
Well, speaking of the warm-up, it was average, but when you hear Roger Penske say, well, we're not solid because Tagliani hasn't run yet. When have you heard Roger Penske saying, you know, the guy we need to worry about is Tagliani? And for a brand new team, what a pat on the back that is.
Yep.
No question.
The fast racing team, Alex Tagliani, 226.381 for Alex.
And again, we've heard a couple folks say that they're just amazed what these guys have done with the little amount of running. I mean, they roll it out every day, and within 2 or 3 laps, they are at the top of the charts or in that top zone every day this past week.
This guy's only Indy 500 start was last year, and he started from the back row, 33rd. It's going to improve improve his position considerably for the start of this year's 500 as the second lap is completed, and it's at 226.756. He's moving up.
It'd be really done for us if we could be able to tap in up here and see the onboard telemetry from the standpoint of seeing what these guys are doing with the tools on board. And we always hear everybody saying, hey, I adjusted this the wrong way or the right way, just to see how much work's going on in that cockpit. It's not just them having the hand on both the wheels, they're reaching out down, adjusting front sway bars, rear sway bars, weight jackers, just to always trying different things as you're going down the front straight and the back straight.
Drop down on the third lap to 226.059.
And that's as Robbie said, because you're always chasing it. And it doesn't take much of a slight adjustment or a change in how the tires feel or how the car sets to make that. So it's just a slight slip on that one speed-wise. You know, if he'd run first, we'd all be dancing saying, he's smoking fast. This is fantastic. But, you know, Castroneves just let the air out of everybody's run here, at least for the first one.
Oh, man.
225.838 on the fourth lap for the average of 226.258 for Alex Tagliani, our third qualifier here in the session. Elio Castroneves has not gotten out of his car. He's staying in the zone as he will watch his teammate, Verizon Team Penske driver Will Power, take to the racetrack.
Now, he did admit in his interview, he said, I can't do what Elio can do. Now, you never know.
He can do a lot.
He can do a lot.
Will Power came here to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 2008, driving for KV Racing Technology, and ended up finishing 13th after a 23rd place start. And last year, 14th Penske, started 9th and finished in 5th spot. He is currently the leader in the Eyes on IndyCar Series point standings coming into the Indianapolis 500 after some very good races pre-500.
And we heard Will say when we interviewed him earlier today that this is a new place for him, obviously being a Team Penske, but also he's never been in the position of going for the pole. He's never been in that mindset. So that's a whole new learning curve, where Elio obviously has had multiple times of setting his sights on what to do with that. So this is the beginning of a long curve and a long career of great runs, I think, for this guy right here, Will Power.
Absolutely. Green flag comes out, and here we go. 227.970 is the pole speed by his teammate Castroneves.
Any good numbers? What do you got for a turn one number there when he comes back for us?
He turned in at a 231.2.
Wow.
So nice numbers, not Elio numbers, but a good start speed-wise.
Lap one for Power is 226.279.
231 rolling into turn one.
Yep, 231.3 that time.
And think about that again. You know, they're mashing the gas down. They're not lifting off. You're turning flat out into turn one, and you just have to be so precise. And every turn is a little bit different. You never do it the same way twice. Just there's always subtle difference. Even in these runs, back to back, lap after lap, every turn is just a little bit different every lap.
This might be just slightly better.
And it is 226.392. That's the second best that's been turned in this second segment.
And I'm just taking a look behind us to look at the windsock on top of the pole, and the wind has absolutely died down right now. So absolutely primo conditions as we're rolling last hour of track time.
Should be
White flag out.
a little bit faster yet.
Yep, 226.526.
It's a good sign if you can just gain on each lap.
Car looks really solid. I mean, you know, just giving himself margin on either end. I mean, just almost where making it look easy. We know it's not. There's a heck of a lot going on, but just how smooth it is for Will.
Run is over for Power. 226.462 is the fourth lap, and the average is 226.415. Of those who have requalified the order: Castroneves, Power, Tagliani, Dixon, and Mutoh. And now next up will be the defending IZOD Series champion, Dario Franchitti. Dario has started on the front row here in Indianapolis 3 times, but those 3 times have been from 3rd position. That in 2004, 2007, and 2009 last year. The winner of the rain-shortened race in 2007 for Andretti Green Racing, Dario Franchitti, on his first warm-up lap.
A few days ago, he was not a very happy camper, but certainly this morning, it was a bit of a hop in his steps. And they had found some things with this car that started to give it some speed. Of course, this is the 10T, or his spare car. They've kind of switched back and forth, and he felt that this car felt a little more comfortable for him than his primary car.
Comes for the green flag to begin his run here in segment number 2. Dario Franchitti gets the green, and 10 miles of qualifying coming up.
So give us a time there getting into 1, just so it sets our standards here.
Relatively speed, 230.8. So we've seen a 232 for Elio, 231 for Power. So he's in the ballpark. Obviously, putting a lap together here is not just the speed you turn into turn 1. It's how you maintain it in the corners, but it gives you a good benchmark for how you're starting.
No, you're right. It's not necessarily that ultimate top speed. It's how the car rolls the corner. You don't want to bind the cars up in the corner. You want it to roll through there free, and it's not all tied to just posting one big number going into 1 or going into 3.
226.602. That puts him in P2 at the moment.
He's picked it up to a 231.6 on that number you asked about, Robbie. That turned into turn number 1. That was an improvement. His overall time, though, is only just slightly better than lap 1.
Second lap is 226.668. A little bit faster than lap 1, with an hour and 5 minutes to go in pole day qualifying.
So reading between the lines there, he's got a big number on his top speed, the 231.3, but then the lap time's not quite there. So that means you're trimmed out, but you're giving up a little bit too much, at least comparison to Castroneves in the corners.
I'm just getting exhausted sitting here knowing what these guys have been through all day, and we're not even done. Just the intensity and the ramping up you got to put yourself into to do the 4-lap runs time and time again. It's just
faster on the 3rd lap, 226.713.
Here, that would put him in 2nd spot, right, Bob?
That is correct. Yep, he would be a little bit faster than Will Power.
And in fact, he's got a good lap. He's working here fourth lap may be his quickest.
We'll see. He's picked it up every lap. Checkered flag drops. Fourth lap is his best by just a little bit. 226.771. 226.688 is the 4-lap average. And Dario right now is in the middle of the front row. Separating the Penske guys, Castroneves and Power.
That's pretty interesting. We've seen a couple guys now, Dixon as well. They ramped up and they got a little quicker with every lap. That's not the norm that we've seen when guys have done mock runs. It usually goes the opposite way, and the first lap is the quickest going down. So a little different trend, which is interesting.
We have 3 more to go in the top 9 in the first round of second round qualifying. Graham Rahal will be next, then Ryan Briscoe and Ed Carpenter will be the last guy out.
All right, now Graham Rahal has talked about how scary his first run was. And he was a little bit high there already.
Already, yeah. I'm just thinking of that visual we showed of him shaking his shoulders, and that's exactly what that car was doing. And he knew it was loose from the very first lap, but he said, I had to leg it. It was time.
Graham started in 4th position last year here at Indianapolis. During the 500 on lap number 56, he had heavy contact with the safer barrier in turn number 4 that eliminated his effort, ended up 31st, and the green is out for Graham Rahal. Dad Bobby is in the Laguna Seca today. Exit off of corner number 2.
He ran high all the way through there. I mean, even from the first time you mentioned that, Jan, it looks as though he's just been running high through a lot of those corners.
As a comparison, he turned into turn 1 at 229.6.
Okay.
So not quite the same straightaway speed. Again, doesn't always necessarily translate to lap time.
Lap 1 for Graham Rahal, 225.626. That would put him 5th in the middle of the second row.
But he picked up the 230. He turned in at 230.6 that time, so he's gaining some speed. Whoop.
And again, it is quite an accomplishment. I mean, it was just kind of announced in the last 2 weeks, as we heard him say, that he was going to drive for his dad and put this together. This wasn't a plan in the works 2 months ago. This has just come about. So to be in this position and make the top 9 shootout, that's a great accomplishment.
We had heard all kind of rumors about who he was going to be driving for here at Indianapolis, and nothing materialized until he put this deal together with his dad. The second lap is faster, 225.631, so a 225.626 and a 631.
Another 230 turn in 1.
And you watch where his car was just coming off of turn 2 there, comparing him to when we said that Will just looked like he was making it pretty easy out there, Will Power. We watch Graham here. He's using every bit of this racetrack as he's coming off the corners.
White flag, lap number 3 for Graham, 225.460. Down from laps 1 and 2. He, of course, became the youngest winner ever in the IZOD IndyCar Series when he took the checkered flag at St. Petersburg on April 6th of 2008. He was 19 years and 93 days old.
Well, he just loves that high line there coming off of turn 2 because he's been running up there every time. That's just where the car says it wants to be.
It's knocking some speed off, though. He did get faster into turn 1, but it's knocking the speed off. This one may be his slowest of the 4.
It's 225.359, the slowest. Average 225.519, and he is in the middle of row number 2. Lindy.
All right, Chip, as Dario rolls by us here, he's sitting P2. Not good enough for you, huh?
We want to go faster.
Well, he's been saying all week that he's really been struggling to find the speed. So what have you all done?
Well, you know, we made some changes. We kind of made some wholesale changes last night to the car. and worked out well for this morning, obviously, and today. You know, but you got to. I heard a great line from my friend Dom Prudhomme. You got to dance every dance, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
That's very true. Now that we have just less than an hour left, what are your thoughts on this format so far today?
So far, so good. You know, I think it's great for the fans that are here. It's a great crowd here today, and, you know, they're just going to see more. Believe me, it's way far from over.
Thanks, Chip.
Alex Tagliani in the car, ready to line up just behind Hideki Mutoh. Roger Penske said he was concerned about you. How much more do you have in the car? Hang on, they're talking to him right now. Right now they're talking about ride height changes, and again, they actually pulled out of their pit box just a moment ago and then put him back into his box and made a few adjustments, but they definitely made a ride height adjustment. Right now they're telling him the last few adjustments before he goes in there, so I'm going to leave him alone for a little bit, and I might get a word in with Alex Tagliani here in just a moment.
All right, Ryan Briscoe next up. He will be the 8th of 9 to requalify here in segment number 2, and Ryan takes the green flag, the 3rd car in the Penske stable. His teammates are on the front row. Elio on the provisional pole, and Will Power on the outside of the front row right now. Let's see what Ryan can do.
Starts right off by going into turn 1 at 231.
You know, fellas, in all the years that Roger Penske has been coming here, you know the normal drill. Usually what he does, he comes in a couple of days before the race, is here on pole day. It's not been the case this week. Roger Penske has been here from day 1, working on top of the box with this driver, car number 6, Ryan Briscoe, that he calls the shots out in the Indy 500. I think it shows the dedication that this team has to perfection here in this pole run today.
226.621. That would knock his teammate off the front row and put Ryan outside row 1.
This lap is a little better. Should pick up a couple of tenths. 226.7.
226.797 to be exact.
You know, and I think when you see Roger's commitment to be here, as Jack said all week, and working with Briscoe, I mean, Briscoe really showed his ability and grew as a driver through last year. We knew he was good on road courses. We knew he was good on the short ovals, but what he did to grow as a driver on the super speedways last year, I mean, he showed he is fully rounded and has all the tools as a driver and with driving for Roger Penske, Team Penske, to win a 500.
And lap number 3 for Ryan Briscoe is 226.519. Ryan began his career here at the Indianapolis 500 in 2005, driving for Target Chip Ganassi Racing. The next year, in 2007, he set out 2006. He was running in another series. 2007 for the Lusso Dragon Racing team, and now with Team Penske.
And as they complete their runs, in a way, Robbie, it takes some of the pressure off because you don't have to withdraw your time. IndyCar has done everything they can to encourage people to run more than once. You get another set of tires. You won't lose your time. If you crash your car, you can still run it in the race. So we're going to see, as Chip said, a lot more today.
Ryan is on the outside of the front row with a 4-lap average of 226.554. So Will Power moves back to the inside of row 2. Right now the front row is Castroneves, Franchitti, and Briscoe.
And that is something new. It's always been historically, if you crash your car here, if you can't fix it, you got to go to the back of the field.
Right, yeah.
But now, if you crash your car, let's say you qualify, whatever, and you crash tomorrow, well, you can still start in that same position of where you qualified.
Of course, the reason they've done that is because right now, when the 9 have finished running, you want to be sure they have incentive. You don't want them almost to say, wait a minute, I don't want to take a chance on knocking myself out of my grid. Right. They said, don't worry about that.
Yep.
We'll give you another set of tires even if you want to make another run. Just keep going.
Yeah. And Firestone has been somebody that's been very supportive of that. They said, yeah, you know what, we're more than happy to give the drivers those extra tires for this. because all it's doing is it's making it more exciting for all of us out here to take any excuses away from these guys to say, no, go challenge yourself, see what you can do up there. And that's, we all want that for the fans, for all of us.
Well, here is, I would say, the biggest surprise as far as I'm concerned. The effort turned in today by this team, Panther Racing and Vision Racing, and Ed Carpenter, who ended up as the 9th fastest and will be the 9th here to requalify in round number 2.
Well, we always knew that Ed had a great feel for the ovals. I mean, it just sticks in my mind that battle that he had with Ryan Briscoe at Kentucky last year, and just came up that short of winning his first race. Yeah.
Remember that he was on a full-year program. It is, Robbie, you can speak to the fact that when you come and you do one race, it's not like you're just hopping in and you're going to the fastest place that they run, hopping in, not having run all year to make the top 9 with a new team. That's very impressive.
Yeah, and if you say to yourself as a driver, oh, that doesn't matter that I'm not running all year, I'll still be okay when you get there. No, the fact that you run with guys that are doing it week in and week out, there's just a little synergy that they have, and that's just that extra thing that you're battling, and obviously done a pretty really solid job of accomplishing it.
At all corners on this lap, he has been a long way away from the wall. I mean, let's see what it is. 224.427.
Well, when it's your only car, we heard that earlier.
Yeah.
Well, we also heard from him. He said, he had many moments and said he was working really hard in that race car.
Right.
As we just watch it from the outside in, it doesn't look like, compared to how Rahal was using up all the track, he's not using as much of that, is he?
Well, he knows he's guaranteed. In fact, he's, in a way, in his interview, conceded, saying, well, we know we're 9th.
Yeah.
So you get kind of a feel for it. And again, he can run again if he wants. Just take your time, get a feel for it. I mean, his big moment might be to move to 8th, just let's creep up on it.
Yeah, either way, you said it, Bob. This is impressive for you. You didn't see this coming, so congratulations to them.
And he will, if he continues at this pace, move up 1 spot. He is faster than Hideki Mutoh. Second lap was 224.599.
And he's each lap picking it up a bit. This could be 1 more 10th again, 224.6. So that's what you do. Ease into it. Keep giving it some power and see what happens.
1 more lap to go. Lap number 3, 224.594. Wow, 599 on the second lap and 594 on the third.
Lost a little bit in 3 and 4 that time. He had a good one going in. But again, doesn't take much scrub, doesn't take much, a little extra turning of the wheel or slipping a little bit high to make a pretty big difference.
No, just keep going back to that visual of Jack running through the house, balancing the apple on the knife. Don't forget about that.
All right, the run is complete. All 9 have requalified. Ed's average is 224.507. He is 8th quick. It is Castroneves, Franchitti, Briscoe, Power, Tagliani, Rahal, Dixon, Carpenter, and Mutoh. There are your 9 right now, but we still have just about 50 minutes of qualifying remaining, and Tag is going to take another shot at it. Jack Arute, Lindy Thaxton, Robbie Floyd, Robbie Buell, Jan Beekes, and Bob Jenkins back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on pole day. We're in segment number 2 now, and Hideki Mutoh is going to try it again. You can try as many times as you want in this segment. His earlier run during the second segment was good enough for 9th starting position, and so he'll try to improve.
That first lap in the first attempt, it was a 226.5, and then we heard just him have to come off the throttle on that last lap, so just handling went away a little bit. So he can put something together here if he can keep it all together. Maybe get on the outside of that front row.
The car's fast on the straightaway, 231.5. Did he turn on that last lap in turn 1? So they've got straight line speed.
It's a 224 or 224.502, and he backed off again. Yeah.
You know, if it's not there, you don't need to be trying to knock the walls down.
And so Hideki Mutoh remains 9th on the outside of row number 3. Jan, recap what's happened.
Well, in case you weren't here earlier, right from the get-go, Alex Tagliani had a good draw. It was cool. He went out, posted an awesome time, and it stuck for most of the day. New team, very pleased with the kind of run that they put in. And Helio Castroneves, however, decided to withdraw his time. Tim Cindric, with his name on the list, pulls him out of a good position just to go after the fastest in session number 1. And boy, did he take care of business. Castroneves, yes. Now I'm going to have the first pick, but as good as it was for Penske, as bad as it was for Andretti Autosport, this, unfortunately, for hard luck man Tony Kanaan, it just kind of floats. And he tries to keep it off the wall. It would have worked, but it was a short shoot, blammo, into turn number 2. The hard luck continues for Tony Kanaan. He's okay, but never got back out. Danica Patrick had a fairly solid run in a 224.2. We thought she was reasonably comfortable, but it wasn't long after she got out of the car. It was very apparent that was not the case.
This is the worst car I've ever had. I couldn't even be flat. The GoDaddy car does not deserve to be this far down.
Now we get to the shootout. Good move there, Helio. Yes, the shootout. Wouldn't even talk to Jack Arute before he got in the car. He was psyched up, and that's why, because when he put the hammer down, Helio Castroneves set the standard. He picked to be the first car out. You can hear the crowd. You can see Roger Penske. Man, that is a number that's going to be tough to beat.
And now Alex Tagliani is going to try it again. Again, you do not lose the speed that you turned in earlier. You just try to better it.
He talked and told Jack Arute earlier that he wants to have a few sparks. He wants to have a little bit of bottoming in the early part of the run to make up for the fact that they've taken downforce out of the rear wing.
226.365. That would move him up to P5.
As the tire pressures come up and the temperatures, you'll see less sparking. Again, just an indicator that you're dragging a little.
Yeah, and what that does is when you get that under tray where it is right on the deck or right on the racetrack, that's just where it really is in its optimum position of making downforce.
This should be better, Bob.
Okay, we'll see. Lap number 2 is 226.628. Yes, it is.
So let's see if he can get that average up to 226.5 plus to bump himself onto the front row. Yeah.
Needs better than 226.554 to get onto the front row.
And to do that, I believe he'd need a 226.8 average from here on out.
From here out.
And this will be short of that.
226.341 is slowest of the 3.
So you have to pick it up a bunch here on the 4th to get on the outside of that front row.
just a little bit of speed on lap 4. Not surprising.
The Canadian driver who makes his U.S. home in Las Vegas takes the checkered flag again. Lap number 4 is 226.226, and the average is 226.390.
Well, Jack, you've picked him for the pole, but I don't know. Castroneves is making a pretty tough mark.
I hate Elio.
Let's go to Lindy Thaxton.
All right, Ed, you're standing here kind of torn on what to do. What are you thinking?
Well, you know, we did our run earlier, and I was lifting all 4 laps because the car was just a handful, just hanging on. And I felt like earlier we could be closer to 226. We came out here, put a little downforce on just to kind of, because and made the car a little better, see what conditions are. So, I mean, I'm tempted. We have another set of tires. I don't know if the team's going to let me go or not, but I think we can run a 26. So, but, you know, I mean, we picked up a spot. I don't think Mutoh is going to be able to go again because he's used both sets of tires. So, I don't know. I'm happy with 8th. It'll be my best start. You know, great position for the race to be able to give the Fuzzies vodka car a good ride, but at the same time, I really do feel like we could go quicker. So,
well, that's what I was going to say.
The car's been great all day.
Yeah, I mean, pull shootout, you're already your best start ever. I mean, no matter what, you got to feel pretty good.
No, we feel great about it. You know, I mean, we're kind of in a. You can look at it 2 ways. We have more. We can risk more because we're just a one-off deal, you know. But we don't really have much to gain because we're not racing for points either. So we're pretty close to front. You know, it's a good place to be. So I think we'll probably be okay.
Well, we're glad to see you back.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
His first race of 2010, Ed Carpenter from Indianapolis. Just relaxing and waiting for the clock to count down to 6 o'clock, which is about 41 minutes from right now. Scott Dixon is back on the racetrack.
His teammate, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dario Franchitti.
Well, we saw Chip kind of walk along there saying, no, we're not happy with that. We want more speed. They made wholesale changes last night that the car responded to earlier today. With the conditions being different now, I think it sounded like they're going to make some other changes and see what kind of speed they could find.
Lap 1 is 226.899. Good lap.
Yep.
Turned in at 231.4. So they've gained straight line speed. He's a little quicker at this point than he was in lap 1. In fact, he's flirting with a 227. Of course, it depends on the other end of the racetrack. But yes, I think if he strings this, he'll be in the 227 range now, Bob.
Let's see. Lap number 2. Yes, 227.027.
And let's not forget his run earlier. He went quicker every lap. So let's see if that's a pattern.
Now 227.970 is the pole average. He's flirting with that. No, I'm sorry.
No, he's a 6.9. Yeah. 7.9 versus a 6.9. Right. However, that's still pretty good.
Lap number 3 for Dario Franchitti is 226.971. He slowed down a little bit on that lap.
231.5 when he turned the wheel into 1.
Still, he's looking to secure himself of being in the 2nd place. Pretty solid.
This is a nice, this is a nice solid run. In fact, this last one, again, last corner depending, will be right on the edge of another 227.
Checkered flag waves for Dario Franchitti. And the 4th lap is 227.065. So his 4th lap was his fastest. The average is 226.990.
So just like Chip said, they did have a little bit more. They had to rework that and come back out pretty stout.
Robbie Floyd is with Graham Rahal.
Well, Graham, after seeing that, I see the helmet's off, the car's packed up, ready to go. Do you wish you were back out there?
Yeah,
I do, to be honest. But Dad made the call from Laguna. That's it. So
you got the telegraph?
Yeah, pretty much. No, I mean, it's the quick trim guys have worked really hard today, and to be honest, the car's been a little bit on edge through both qualifying sessions, more than we'd like, certainly. But so far, so good. You know, I mean, for us to even be in the top 9 here, the top 3 rows is pretty impressive. And so we'll, you know, from here, just move on, work tomorrow on the race setup, and hopefully have a good one next weekend.
Yeah, you didn't even know where you would be a few weeks ago. Now you're here. You made the shootout itself. Currently, you're in 6th spot, but qualifying's done. The race setup, you have to be looking forward to that as well, because you look like you were in control of the car then.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that we certainly we didn't have the speed for pole. So for us, just to put in the top 3 rows, it doesn't really matter from there. As long as you got a good car, that's what counts, the race. And so right now we're going to focus on that and make sure that the quick trim car is fast next weekend.
Q6 for Graham Rahal, and quick trim car is fast, and I hear Kim Kardashian's coming as well.
Yeah, that's right. And Will Power is going to come back and take another shot at it. Now, he right now is not on the front row. He's P4, so he's trying to knock himself up into the front row. And he begins the run. Right now, he's at 226.4. He needs a 226.554 to knock his teammate Briscoe off the front row.
I think he's got it.
Do you?
Yeah. Just my gut. Not looking at anything that you got over there.
I think I picked him to win pole today, didn't I? It's been so long ago.
Sure you did. Sure you did. Just go with it.
Hey, fellas, keep in mind, on top of everything, there's pride at stake for Team Penske. The last time that he swept the front row in an Indy 500 starting grid was all the way back in 1988.
Well,
so that's something to shoot for.
All he has to do is keep this run going. It's a 227.382.
And he's going faster.
Wow.
He's picked it up.
And it's only 5:25.
That's right.
There's 35 minutes left of practice, and it's only going to get a little bit quicker as we get to that later hour.
Bob, he's creeping up to 227.6.
Really?
Yeah. He's on it.
Second lap completed. It's a 227.597, almost a 227.6.
So when he was kind of giving us the sign to say, oh man, I don't know how I can do this anymore. How does Elio? He's doing a pretty good job.
He sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he pulled a 232.2.
That's mine. There you go.
That's the number.
That's
he had
magic.
a 32 turn into turn number 1.
That's the magic.
It's getting cooler. They're getting faster down that front straight. Now this time, I think he'll get his 227.6, Bob. He missed it by 3/1000 last time. He did.
227.650. This will put him on the outside of the front row. Knock Ryan Briscoe back to the inside of the second row.
Very consistent laps. This will be a high. Actually, he's doing great in turn 4. He might pull another 227.6.
Checkered flag waves. Did he move up? And this fourth lap is 227.682, 227.578.
Well, that shows us that somebody's got enough speed to take a shot at Elio before this thing's out.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
So that moves him up to P2. They're moving Briscoe out of line. And now Dario Franchitti is on the outside of the front row as Scott Dixon moves in line. Down to Jack.
All right, guys, here's the chess game and what's going to start to unfold. We're getting down to the golden moments in qualifying. And what I mean by that is, see over my shoulder, see the sun in the long main grandstands? Well, right now it's occluded by clouds, and that's a plus. But as that sun begins to dip and head more towards sunset, with probably about 6 minutes to go in this session before the gun goes off at 6 o'clock, That sun will be behind the grandstands, and that means the entire front straightaway will be shadowed. And you know what that means? It'll be cooler. And if it's cooler, it should be faster.
Of course, it got darker earlier. We were on Central Time, but we're on daylight time now, so the shadows don't get there quite as soon as they used to. But Scott Dixon is on the racetrack. He right now is in P7.
You know, in comparing him to his teammate Franchitti, it hasn't really looked as though he's had the sheer speed by himself, but let's see if they put some of the things they learned on Franchitti's car that last run, put it over here to Dixon's car, and just see if it kind of brings this thing to life just a little bit to see if he can challenge to be on that front row.
Now, we were told that after his first run that they changed springs, so that's a fairly wholesale change. And again, why not try different setups if you're not going to lose your time?
Nothing to lose.
The battle between Roger Penske and Chip Ganassi is on. Franchitti, make Matt Dixon, takes the green flag and begins his run. Tracker down at the bottom says 7. That's where he is right now.
He turned in at a 230.1, so a noticeable difference in turn-in speed.
A little bit of sparks, just car bottoming out as tire pressures are coming up, as we've seen on others.
225 range. 225.2.
275, yep.
So, not responding on his car to what responded on his teammate Dario, if that was the same thing in terms of that spring direction.
Well, it's good conditions, but when someone has got the kind of muscle that Castroneves has, it's going to take a miracle to make that kind of change in that sort of time.
Second lap is 225.588 for Dixon. Tracker still has him in 7th position, however.
He did pick up a little bit of speed on the front straightaway that time. He did just pop into 231. He did gain some front straight speed.
Now up to 6th, it says, as the white flag comes out. Lap number 3 is 225.862.
So it's the same trend that we saw from him earlier. Every lap a little bit quicker. Franchitti, the same thing. Every lap a little bit quicker, but just at a little more pace than what his teammate Dixon has.
Guys, the reason that Dario Franchitti just got pushed out, it's all about the sun. Those clouds I showed you, they just started to pull out, and the sun got bright, and the track temperature started to escalate. This is the gamesmanship that we're going to be under for the remaining 30 or so minutes here now. You want a cloud, and you also want it fast. Hey, you can gamble.
Scott Dixon's 4-lap average is 225.891. He gained 2 positions and is now on the outside of the 2nd row in 6th starting position. More coming up on pole day at Indy.
Meet Lola. The day he retired from football, Lola started chasing his biggest dream, a business of his own. Lola's first step, he built his website with GoDaddy.com. And with GoDaddy's easy-to-use e-commerce tools, Lola was soon selling his own line to the world.
Oh, wait.
Lola dreams big. And who's to argue? See more now at GoDaddy.com.